Hi everybody, what's up? My name is Juan, I am Just One Reader, and I am here with a very exciting video, at least I think it is. So recently I've been watching a lot of videos on, the books that people are anticipating the most, books that people really want to get to in 2018. So I really started to think how I could make this type of video. The selection process for that video would be really difficult for me. So instead of that, I decided to show you something a little bit different, but kind of similar. So I'm gonna take you backstage a little bit. And what I mean is, I'm gonna let you guys have a look into how this weird mind of mine works, how my weird brain works. So I'm gonna show you a little bit of how I plan my reading. Basically, this is like a confession. Not really a confession, but okay. I am incredibly organized and controlling when it comes to my reading. I like to plan ahead quite a bit when it comes to reading. But this year, 2018, I have really taken that to just another level. I already planned every single book that I want to read in 2018. I am not crazy, Monica Geller kind of rigid. I know that some things can happen, some things can change. I'm perfectly fine with flexibilizing a little bit of my, what I've already planned. But basically, I do have a list. I do have not just a list on paper. I actually have a physical TBR that I'm going to show you very quickly. I have, so far, I only have the physical piles for February, March, April, May, June, and July, and August. So I'm just going to show you that, and then I'm going to show you something really cool. So there we are. You are taking a look into my madness and my neurosis. February, March, April, May, June, July, and August. But now this video is not really about my TBR for 2018, nor is it about my neurosis when it comes to planning my reading. This video is all about this very, very particular, very specific, and very special pile. This is another pile that I have on my bedroom, and this is what I call my extra or my bonus. There you can see it says extra. It's my extra pile. So basically, like I showed you, I have a TBR pile for every month of the year. But sometimes when I am a very good reader and when my reading is just at when I am at the height of my powers, if I finish all my books for that monthly TBR, I will choose one from here. So I have 8 books in here, I think, if I can count. Yes, I do. So I have 8 books in here in my extra bonus super special pile for 2018, and I wanted to show you these books because I think this is kind of the equivalent of 8 books that I am really looking forward to reading in 2018 that are not formally planned on my TBR, although I do hope to get through all of them or most of them. I am really excited about them. So I will just go over this TBR very quickly. So the first one that I have is, of course, you already saw it, Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. I have never read Jane Austen before. I've always thought that this kind of literature, Victorian and kind of classical literature, is going to be very boring and very, very I've always kind of dreaded the whole idea of reading this, but lately I've been really feeling like I might succeed, and yeah, I'm just getting into the mood of trying this, and I've actually read the first couple of paragraphs, and I really liked it. I really liked the writing style. So, of course, this is one of those classics that you kind of have to read if you want to call yourself a reader. Next up, I have Burial Rites by Hannah Kent, a booktube darling book that needs no introduction. This is not a very beautiful cover if you compare it to the UK edition, which is lovely. But regardless of that, this is a book that people have absolutely raved about and loved. I can't think for the life of me of anyone who hasn't loved it. So this is kind of a foolproof book. I need to read it to see what the fuzz is all about, finally. The next one is The Orphan Master's Son by Adam Johnson. If you have been following my channel, you will remember that in 2017, I read Adam Johnson's Fortune Smiles, which is a collection of short stories. It was one of my favorite books of the year. I think it was my top top four book of the year. It was incredible. And this is his novel. And guess what? This won the Pulitzer Prize. So I could not be more excited for this book. Then I have another classic, and this is The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. I love this edition. It's so pretty. It's very short. I really like the language from what I can see just from here. And yeah, this is one that it's like Alice in Wonderland. It's one of those books that everybody knows the concept and the idea, and you kind of know what it's about, but I've never read it. I've never actually read it, so I need to do that. I also wanted to throw in here in this extra bonus pile something a little bit different, something a little bit, you know, weird and special. So I have this little baby right here, which is The Seer by Alice Smith. This book was incredibly difficult to get. I had to order it from Amazon. It was available for a very short period of time, but it was pretty expensive. It was like $150, but I just, you know, I went crazy and I decided to spend on literature because I've heard from Jen Campbell that this is, you know, one of the best things ever, one of the best things that Alice Smith has written. This is actually a play. This next book is, I really feel like this is kind of an example of my growth as a reader, and I don't mean it in like a preachy way or a, like, you know, like an obnoxious, arrogant way, like, oh, I'm so mature, I'm growing. No, I really feel like lately, because of you guys, because of the community aspect of BookTube, because of the comments, and because of the recommendations that I've received from people in here, both on channels and videos and in the comments, I really feel like I've grown as a reader, and I say it really, you know, I'm really grateful when I say that. And this is a book that really shows me how much I have expanded my horizons. This is historical fiction. It is Wolf Hall by Hilary Mantel. This was another winner of the Man Booker in 2009. It's historical fiction, and this is a book that I normally would have never picked up on my own. It's, like I said, it's historical fiction, and I am very ignorant when it comes down to history. It's about, you know, Thomas Cromwell and the Tudors and Henry VIII. I don't even know about this stuff, so I will have to go and research a little bit of, you know, that kind of period in history to not feel like I am completely lost. But I think it says a lot. At least it says a lot about how I am trying to branch out and read something different for a change. And I am really excited because this actually sounds really, really fascinating. And the last two that I have in here are nonfiction. One of them is this book, which is on the topic of atheism. It has an amazing title that I just love because it's incredibly cynical and unapologetical. God is Not Great, How Religion Poisons Everything, and it is by Christopher Hitchens. He is a man that I really, really enjoy listening to and reading his words. I love his arguments. And the last book in this extra bonus TBR pile is also nonfiction, and it is On Sondheim, An Opinionated Guide by Ethan Morden. This is a kind of review, or if not review, it's kind of a commentary or an opinionated guide, as the title very well suggests, on Stephen Sondheim's legacy to this world, which, you know, his legacy is incredible. All the musicals that he has written. I really love Sondheim. I really love Sweeney Todd, of course, Into the Woods, West Side Story, Gypsy, Company. I love Company. Sunday in the Park with George, of course. Sunday in the Park with George. A Little Night Music. Yeah, I cannot wait to read this. So guys, what do you think about this weird idea? What did you think of my clearly neurotic neurosis when it comes to planning books? What do you think of this kind of way of planning your year, your reading year? I would love to hear all your crazy thoughts or your very insightful thoughts as well in the comments down below. Thanks for watching.